Hey, what's up, Liberty lovers? It's Liberty Lou. Riding shotgun here is the sexy libertarian Logan Schwartz.
Thank you. Yeah, what's up, guys? We are the Major League Libertarians, your home for lovely, livacious lectures on liberty and, of course, the occasional woken rage, which I think is going to be on full display tonight. We're going to start you off with the UK terrorist attacks lately this week, the one on May 22nd at the Ariana Grande concert that left, I believe, 22 dead and 59 injured.
That is correct.
And then the London Bridge attack last night, and also the two that happened simultaneously in downtown London. And, of course, Theresa May, the Prime Minister of London, her response to that, which I think was very interesting. Then we're going to go right into CNN staging some fake Muslim terrorist attack protests.
Yeah, we caught CNN being fake again, guys.
Another
CNN News
journalist.
the Commie News Network got caught again today.
Right.
We have the documents.
We have the documents. Antifa Portland at a Trump rally. There was a huge protest there, so we're going to go into that. That happened today. Trump's withdrawal from the Paris Climate Accord that has everybody all up in arms. And, of course, then we're going to go into a general discussion about the recent infighting within the Libertarian Party and just the general ideals and politics that are kind of emerging that are a little bit frightening. Sometimes.
Yeah, we want to talk about some libertarian stuff tonight, guys,
Exactly.
because there's a lot of infighting going on right now. Obviously, I mean, we are the Libertarian Party. It seems to be expected, but we want to talk about it and say,
give our take on it
Yeah.
and what we believe and what we can do to move forward and how we can hopefully stop some of it. But anyway, let's go right into it with the UK terrorist attacks in Manchester on the 22nd. Ariana Grande concert already not really being talked about anymore.
Yeah,
like
the Sadiq Khan, the mayor, the Muslim mayor of London, the first Muslim mayor of London, by the way. He said, was it 5-6 months ago? He said that it's partial now to living in a big city like this. You're just going to have to get used to terrorism. How does that feel? How does that feel, our brothers and sisters across the pond? How do you feel right now?
Yeah, get used to your children getting blown up at a concert.
Yeah,
you're just going to have to get used to it.
These radical Islamic terrorists targeted young girls, young teeny bopper girls.
Yeah.
Going to see a pop concert.
Some of them
Ariana
like 11,
Grande.
12 years old. This is absolutely ridiculous. And I thought that, and this was at a concert for somebody who's one of their main advocates for refugees.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Ariana Grande is a very big open border supporter. She lives behind a gated mansion, and she has armed security, but you're not allowed to have armed security, and we shouldn't have a sovereign nation.
You're not allowed to arm yourself, let alone have armed security. You can't secure yourself.
I mean, I talked about this in my solo video last week. Katy Perry said that we just, need to coexist. Yeah, you live behind a gated mansion with armed security, too.
I think that's a very interesting thing that it kind of points to this whole SJW nonsense that's been going on lately is we just need to coexist. It's yeah, that's a lot easier to do if everybody believes it.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, not everybody believes it because all you're doing is you're just sitting at home or going to a concert or just being on the London Bridge and then all of a sudden you get stabbed. That's not somebody that wants to coexist with you.
Right. And one of our partners who you haven't seen on the camera very much lately, Ian Miller, posted in a group today on Facebook saying that you have trust in society in your normal day. You wake up, you trust that you're going to get in a car and you're not going to get hit by another car. You have trust that the other people you're around aren't going to be blowing you up and stuff. But what happens now when this is almost a daily occurrence happening in Europe and starting to happen here in the United States? What happens to that trust that you have in your government to take care of you? Last night, what we saw in these attacks is the London police, the Metro Police, actually running away from the Muslim attackers because they're not armed and they weren't ready for that. And the citizens actually had to take it upon themselves to throw chairs at the terrorists before the cops can show up, the ones with the guns. I
mean, come on, that is ridiculously sad. And, of course, in the midst of all this stuff happening, you still have people that are saying, no, it's not all Muslims. Not all Muslims are terrorists. Of course not. We're not saying that either.
Yeah.
But what we're saying is
there's good Muslims.
There's a lot of good Muslims.
Yes.
But this
the majority
sect of this Islamic political ideology mixed with religion is very dangerous. And, yes, not a whole lot of percentage-wise of Muslims are radicals, but I don't really care what the percentage is when they're successfully carrying out attacks almost on a daily basis in Western civilization.
And we're getting blamed for it. Conservatives and libertarians, it's our fault because we're Islamophobic. No, our problem, we don't have a problem with Muslims. By the way, Islam is not a race. It's a political ideology. It's a religion. There's white Muslims. There's Asian Muslims. I can criticize you when you're blowing my family up to bits in the streets. Sorry. Furthermore... Yeah, Logan, keep going. Sorry.
It's all right. No, I mean, I understand it. I mean, it's ridiculous. And, I mean, we have a clip now of a British citizen complaining to another British citizen during this attack about being Islamophobic. Anyway, about that.
Yeah, this is hilarious, guys. Check this out. So this happened last night inside a bar. British citizens, UK, had to run into bars to hide from the attacks. Yeah. There's actually a guy saying, shut up, it's not Muslims, you Islamophobe.
Right. You're going to
this
see
out.
the police come in, tell everybody get on the ground.
Here it comes.
Yeah. See, telling everyone to get down because that's really all they can do.
Here it comes. Yeah, so
It's not Muslims.
yeah, so the guy, in case you didn't hear it, we could probably play it again here in a second. What
Yeah.
one of the guys in the video said, if you couldn't hear it, is saying, "Those fucking Muslim cunts."
Yeah,
The other guy says, "Shut the fuck up, mate. It's not Muslims."
right. Which,
Well,
I mean,
unfortunately, if it
turned
quacks
out-
like a duck and it walks like a duck, I'm sorry, it's a duck.
right, it's not all Muslims, obviously. We're not saying that. But
No.
the people who are perpetrating this are doing it based off their interpretation of a religion and a political ideology that is Islamic.
Yes, and our problem
That's
with
all we're saying, but it's like, I mean, you can't negate that fact and just say, oh, it's not all Muslims. Of course it's not all Muslim. Not all Germans were Nazis, but it didn't really matter, did it?
Look at these people, Logan. Like,
I know.
all they can do is hide in a pub while there's rampant terrorists outside stabbing people, running over people with cars.
Yeah. Blowing people up at
All they
concerts.
can do is hide in these pubs and hope that these unarmed police can help save them.
Right? And then, I mean,
Total
I gotta
cuckery.
give it to these guys. They're not running away, at least, you know? It's like, that takes some balls.
God, this video
You
just
know,
made me
like-
sick. I just, this keeps happening. When are we going to have a comprehensive, common sense van and truck control?
Right.
And universal background checks on butcher knives?
At least arm your police officers at this point,
Oh.
London. I mean, Jesus, I know you have some that are armed. Just arm the rest of them because
Right.
this is ridiculous. I
They,
mean,
they already took the guns away from the citizens, so they're basically told to be cucks and tolerant citizens and just take it.
Yeah, and they also have rampant gangs of people that go around stabbing people in the neck with pencils. It's not going to change anything. Just,
Right.
I mean, like, yeah, maybe you would have more gun violence, probably, but I don't know. I mean, when it comes down to this, it's like you're getting attacked daily by these people.
Yeah, it's what are we going to keep doing, liberals? Or are we just
Yeah.
going to keep changing our profile pictures and just
Pray for
pray
them.
for Paris, pray for Orlando,
Get
pray
used
for
to
San
it.
Bernardino, pray for London, pray. Every freaking week there's another attack, and I have to reiterate this, that we do
Yeah.
not have a problem with Muslims or Islam itself. What I have a problem with is the Wahhabist form that comes out of Saudi Arabia and Iran.
Mm-hmm.
They're going back to the old school Orthodox Islam, where women are slaves and they have to be covered up. And if you're a non-believer, they think that they're going to paradise for killing the non-believer.
Yeah, for the infidels. If
I'm
you're an
sorry,
infidel, you're
libertarians
gonna go to
watching.
paradise.
That is violation of the NAP. You're coming
That
here,
is.
you're threatening me and my family and my friends and wanting to blow us up. And no, that is a violation of the NAP. And today, so many
It's
people
like
think-
the most obvious
Yes.
violation of the NAP that could possibly be. And for you to say that some people using certain words is akin to that is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, we're
That
not
doesn't make any
Islamophobic
sense.
here. Phobic means that you have an unnatural fear of something. At what point, when this keeps happening over and over again, and these people's leaders are saying, we're going to flood Western society, we're going to infiltrate your immigration system. It's been said. They're coming here to outbreed us and to attack.
Yeah, that's their goal. And yeah, it's not all Muslims, but
And-
it's a large enough population, whatever the percentage is, for it to be a threat.
You know what,
Period.
Logan? And I had another one of my friends in Europe today hit me up. It's they can't even say anything, you guys. If they say
Yeah.
something like what we're talking about right now on Facebook, they're thrown in jail. They'll lose their house and be given to migrants.
That's insane. That is absolutely insane. Think about that.
This
Like,
world
really
right
think
now.
about that. That is a Western civilization jailing people for speaking out against something.
Yeah,
That
more
doesn't
rapes keep
happen.
happening, and if you actually say something, you accuse your accuser of raping you, you're the one that's shamed because you're Islamophobic. It's just part of their culture.
Yeah, and this is a cultural subversion tactic that is working extremely well and is on full display right now. It's
And there
something that
are
the
good
Russians
Muslims.
tried to do
The
to
majority
us,
of them are
and
good.
now is something
Yes.
that this sect of Islam is trying to do to
Thank
us.
you.
But like,
The Wahhabists.
yeah, you have to understand that this sect of Islam is way more akin to actual Nazis, and this is something that did happen once in history already. And Antifa, if you want to fight the real
1,400
Nazis,
years. Yeah.
fight that. Don't.
Oh, but they're so tolerant, Logan.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
extremely.
Wahhabism is so tolerant and feminist. I don't
There
understand
are a
why
lot
the
of tolerant
left.
Muslims. Like, one of my favorite stories is like if you've seen Lone Survivor at the end of it, the guy that took him
Yeah.
in based off of the Pashtunwali tradition, where it says, I think I'm definitely not pronouncing that right. I'm trying though. I'm sorry, but Pashtunwali, something like that. Pretty much what it says is that it's within their religion. It says any traveler that comes to their doorstep they have to take him in, provide him with food, water, all of that, and pretty much just treat them well. And that's what they did for Marcus Luttrell. That's the only reason he survived. They fought for him. That is an amazing person, an amazing culture, and an amazing thing that somebody did, putting like themselves at that risk from the Taliban, from the bad sect of Islam. And that's where you should start drawing this distinction, is by like actually pointing out stories where this is happening, where there are really good Muslims doing really good things, and then separate those people from the really bad Muslims doing really bad things. And it's simple.
The new form of Wahhabism that's coming out right now, that's the part that we have a problem with. They are, if you don't, you have to hear this, guys. Islam is at war with Western society right now. Whether you want to admit it or not, that's the fact. That's the truth. Like I said, if it quacks like a duck and it walks like a duck, it's a fucking duck.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why the liberals and the left today are like allying themselves with radical Islam. I don't understand. I don't get it. All day today, all I hear is just that it's white people's fault, it's Trump people's fault, and conservative and libertarian people's fault. It's our fault?
How?
I didn't blow up Ariana Grande's fucking concert.
No. I'm not even in London. I wasn't in San Bernardino. I'm not going up to just random Muslim people saying, I hate you, you're bad, or anything like that. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying nobody does that, but it's a very small sect of the population that actually does that. All we're saying is this sect of Islam is going absolutely batshit insane right now.
And I'm sorry that if you keep invading, you keep bringing these people in massive hordes. Germany, 5 million. 5 million. Germany's not that big, you guys. You know what that is?
Yeah, that's huge.
They don't assimilate. They don't want to work. It's a welfare drain. Welfare drain. You're bringing in people that are non-compatible with the free society. There's going to be a conflict, and then the government steps in, and they crack down, and they take away everybody's rights.
Right.
So good job, lefties.
And, I mean, it's the same argument for immigration here. It's like, if you're going to contribute to society, great. If you want to come here and work, I welcome you. But if you want to come here and just leech off of a welfare program, then
and run around in Sharia patrols and rape women and just, and throw gays off of roofs?
Not, yeah. It's like you have to assimilate to our ideals. I mean, that's just part of it. Everybody that wasn't American originally came from a different country, and they all assimilated to these ideals. There were people from France, Spain, Hawaii, Native Americans that did it.
Italians, Europeans, I mean, all of us,
Irish, everybody. And they did it because they wanted to assimilate to the new ideals that were better than the statist, ridiculous ideals that we are even moving towards today. But
I mean, I get the idea that, you want to move here for, make a better life for yourself and your families. But, I would agree with that if they actually were coming over here and doing that.
Right.
They're not. Sorry, you can look at the statistics yourself. It's on the UN. You can look at it. It's out there.
Yeah.
We've already gone over that.
Not only is all the regular stuff coming out with these attacks that is just ridiculous, but Theresa May, the Prime Minister of England, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
She is the PM.
Duh. Yeah, the Prime Minister of England had a very interesting response to this, so we're going to play real quick.
Yeah, check out this clip, guys. So she started off great. She admitted there's a problem with radical Islamic terrorism. Yes, I just said it again. Oops. Truth hurts, right?
So
she started off great, saying we have been too tolerant to being blown up, and it's got to stop. Right. So she starts off great in her speech, and then she goes completely freaking left and authoritarian, and she wants to clamp down on the internet and regulate internet. It's okay. So it's not the people committing the crime's fault; it's the internet's fault.
Oh yeah.
So let's take away your rights as citizens to have an open, free internet, free market of ideals. No, we're going to have to go ahead and clamp down on that.
Right. Anyway.
Let's go ahead.
Victim to a brutal terrorist attack once again. Shortly before 10:10 yesterday evening, the Metropolitan Police received reports that a white van had struck pedestrians on London Bridge. It continued to drive from London Bridge to Borough Market, where 3 terrorists left the van and attacked innocent and unarmed civilians with blades and knives. We cannot and must not pretend that things can continue as they are. Second, we cannot allow this ideology the safe space it needs to breed. Yet that is precisely what the internet and the big companies that provide internet-based services provide. We need to work with allied democratic governments to reach international agreements that regulate cyberspace to prevent the spread of extremist and terrorism planning.
Do you know the dangers of that, ladies and gentlemen?
And we need to do everything we can at home
to
reduce the risks of extremism
Those
online.
who will trade security for freedom deserve neither and will receive neither.
Yep. nor they don't deserve neither. That was Ben Franklin. Yeah, so she started off great. Obviously, there's a problem. She's nailing it. And then all of a sudden, she goes into Orwellian, draconian. We're gonna clamp down on the internet, and
So
it's
fast, too,
extreme terrorism. Like that was like what
Yeah,
30
that was-
seconds, Logan.
I
She
know,
went
it
from
was like- she
okay,
didn't even,
cool,
like-
ooh,
She didn't even like try to prep it up a little bit or like ease into it. It's just straight into it's like the reason's the internet, and they're recruiting through the internet, and nobody should be allowed to say whatever they want to on the internet, and we're gonna control the internet now.
Notice
It's like,
because she said we're going to combat extreme terrorists. It didn't really say who we're going to be doing. It's going to be you too. Like I said in many of my posts today and many of my last few videos, this is a plan. It's a pattern. Check it out. Attack happens. Bring more in.
Right.
Take the rights away from the citizens as soon as the attack happens.
exactly, and I mean it's like because I'm a Star Wars nerd, I'm going to bring it up. This is the emergency powers of the Chancellor being
Yes.
granted to him through the
Amen.
Senate. And this is like an emergency power type situation. And I mean, I know that's nerdy as hell, but still.
No, but
I
it
mean,
is
it's
a
the
good
exact-
allegory. It is
it's
a
the
good
exact same
metaphor,
thing.
Logan. That is perfect because every time government always creates the problem, right? And
Right.
then they step in as the savior. Oh, we're going to be here to help you. We're the ones. Only government, through your tax dollars
Right.
and through losing more of your rights, we'll take care of you
Only
for just
through
a
our
little
control
while.
can
Just a
you
little while. We'll give it
achieve
back to you
safety.
eventually. When do they ever give it back?
Never give it back.
Boom. Thank you, Logan.
But anyway, and another thing amidst all this, CNN has been caught being fake news once again. Shocking, just as shocking as. it
Oh,
being
shocking.
Muslim
The Commie
terrorists.
News
Yeah.
Network got caught being fake
Right.
news again today.
Yeah, they were staging a fake Muslim protest to the current terrorist attacks. It
And
was
this
like
is
a
the thing.
movie setup.
It's so liberals are trying so hard to be allied with Islam. I don't get it. I don't
Still
understand.
don't. And feminists that are allied with Islam makes absolutely no sense. Same with like LGBT community.
They throw gay people off of roofs.
Right, but
Congratulations.
yeah, it's just their culture, though, Lou.
Yeah,
like,
it's,
we
I
can't-
know.
you
You
we can't
racist,
insult-
xenophobic bigot.
We can't
you-
insult the culture of people tossing people off roofs. Why would we do that?
You're a white male.
I know.
Do you know that? You can't
I'm a
speak here.
white
You're
male.
a white male.
Damn it.
You're a white male! Oh, white male! Oh, that dude. Oh, Professor Cuck actually is a cashier at a very liberal grocery store somewhere in Iowa, I guess now.
Oh, he's a cashier at a grocery
Yeah.
store. Okay.
Fighting capitalism
Yeah,
by
fighting
working at
capitalism by
yeah.
working on capitalism and having the smallest balls known to mankind.
What was that guy's name? I can't remember what they called him. It was hilarious. But regardless, we caught CNN again today. We have the documents. We have the documents. Yeah, so
And pass the
CNN, we got caught. They wanted to make this idea that there was moderate Muslims out there saying that, we detest these attacks.
Which
and we
there
speak against
actually
it.
are.
There
which-
are
yeah,
some.
but I mean, it's like the way
There are
they're
actually
doing-
some, yes.
Yes, there are, and
Yes,
it's
I
like
saw
why
some
don't you
good
just
ones.
cover them instead of? But anyway, keep going.
No, but what they
Yeah.
want to do is they set up. Check this out. It looks like a Hollywood stage setup studio.
Yeah.
We're gonna play this clip in just a second here, guys. They basically had a prop guy who you can see right now, Logan. You'll see in just a couple seconds, guys, handing out signs with hashtags on
Right.
what to say, where to stand.
Not the first time this has happened.
They got busted again by citizen journalists like Logan and myself right here.
Right.
It's
Except
amazing
this guy's
what
on
our
the front
smartphones can do now.
lines, and I gotta hand it to him. Very good work, sir. I don't know his name, but great job.
We'll give that out in the credits.
Yeah, we'll give it out in the credits.
So check this out, guys. Seth, go ahead and roll that one for us. So here, you can just see them. They're like, okay, here, right here. Look at this. They got like Hollywood
Right.
lights set up.
Hollywood lights. That looks like a cue card to me. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, it's like Hollywood now. This is what
Yeah.
liberals and people that aren't informed or woke, they watch the news and this is what they're producing, and then you eat the bullshit.
Right?
Look at
Not
this.
knowing that any of this is going on in the background is absolutely hilarious. It's, I mean, it's actually way more sad than it's hilarious. But
The people will be watching this on CNN and they'll
Wait.
eat it up. It's like,
look at this here.
they're out
you
there.
have scarves on, so you pick this up and say this real quick.
right. Oh, this is wow. This is glorious. Commie News Network at it again.
Yeah. Have a roped off fake ass danger area.
Oh, and I heard like they had like a caution tape thing behind what you're seeing right now too, but you can still walk through it like a sidewalk. It's ridiculous.
Ah. There's another one.
And see, they'll get really up and close too, so it'll make it look like there's a lot of people doing it. When in reality, you see from back here, you see that.
But
yeah,
you can
there's
see
nobody.
one of them reading the sign that she's holding. Like,
Yeah, she
what?
doesn't know. Yeah, she don't even know.
What is this? I don't know. I just want to be on TV. Maybe they actually would protest it, but they didn't form this protest. They didn't show up with these signs. They were handing these signs.
Yes, and you did see that at the beginning. The prop guy handing the signs. So yeah, here it is, guys. Remember all my episodes in the past 6 months about fake news. Here's your real fake news in mainstream media.
Craziness.
These people don't even know what they're supposed to say.
I know. I still catch like 2 or 3 of them reading the sign that they're holding, like. And I mean, it's like the thing is, maybe those people actually do detest the attacks and everything like that. I don't know.
I'd hope so.
Probably do. I mean, yeah, why wouldn't they? But
well,
at
that's
the same
problem.
Time,
There's actually screenshots now, and I did watch the video myself. If you're an Al Jazeera viewer, when they were covering the attacks last night in the UK, all laugh and heart reacts.
Really?
And that's just terrible. Yeah. You can check it yourself. Go to Al Jazeera, watch their live coverage last night with the Facebook live video, and watch all them thumbs and laughy faces. That's the thing.
Is sickening.
And I have to say, like I said, I'm not Islamophobic, but at what point do we, tackle the problem? Even if only 13% of surveyed Muslims say that they support honor killing and suicide bombing, there's 1.1 billion Muslims in this world right now. 13% of that. Take a gander on what number that is.
3 people, apparently they're doing a good enough job. I mean,
they're going to use whatever they can. They're going to use a truck. They're going to use a van. They're going to use a car.
Who cares about the damn number when they're being extremely effective?
But Logan, did you hear about that poll that just came out of the UK last week? It was 60% of migrant Muslims that have moved into the UK have, in a recent survey, said that they will not talk to the police if their friends or family or relatives are becoming radicalized. That is a problem.
That is a huge problem.
And all these attackers, Manchester attack, last night's attack, the intelligence agencies in the UK already had these guys on watch lists. They already knew. Same thing with the San Bernardino attacker, the 2 of them, the man and the wife here in California, and the guy at the Orlando nightclub. They've had all these people on the terrorist watch list, but yet they don't do anything about it. They let the attack happen, and
the silent majority is irrelevant in the case. And I mean, it's like, yes, they're being terrorized, and we need to help them. I mean, we can't do it by just saying, "Oh, it's not all you guys. We know it's not all you guys, but go ahead and deal with it yourselves."
Change your profile picture to the country that was just radically attacked by radical Islamic terrorism.
Why
pray
not
for
help
Paris.
The actual moderate Muslims, which is the majority, and then get rid of this ridiculous like. All right, so what if the Westboro Baptists and Christianity were huge? And doing all this kind of stuff too. What if they were murdering people? What if they were blowing people up?
Liberal news would be out of control.
That's what I'm saying. I would be out of control. I'd be like, shut those fuckers down. Like, start shooting them. Because no matter what it is, whatever religious or political ideology it is that leads to the murder of people is not a good thing. I don't care where it comes from. It's just not a good thing. It's not part of our national ideals. It's not part of who we are as a country. Is not part of anybody's ideals in America, I would hope, unless the, of course, extreme radical right and the extreme radical left that are the very vocal at this point. But I don't care where it comes from. If it supports killing people and it says that you have to murder people that don't agree with you, it's a bad philosophy, whatever it is, and wherever it comes from.
Good ideas do not require force. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but Wahhabist Islam, that's a problem, and that definitely violates the NAP. If you don't believe in a certain religion, so you should be beheaded and put to death for that?
There is nothing that violates the NAP more than that. I mean, come on. And if you call yourself a libertarian and you don't see that as a violation of the NAP, then that is absolutely ridiculous.
White male again.
Oh, man, whatever. I'm a racist white male. I just went through, pages worth, if I wrote it down, of little injectures saying it's not all Muslims. I don't believe it's all Muslims, but just because of that one soundbite, I probably will get caught for being a racist white male. Oh, no.
Everybody already thinks you're a racist white male. You don't subscribe to hive mind liberal communist bullshit.
Sorry.
If you think differently than liberals, you're that guy. You're the racist bigot. I'm sorry. We're just talking about real stuff here. People are dying. We're just going to keep saying pray for Paris, pray for Orlando, pray for San Bernardino, pray for UK, pray for London.
Yeah, pray for them. Whatever. Great.
Now it's weekly.
Like more people are going to die. Great.
It used to be like monthly. Remember that? Remember when it was like nothing before 9/11? Now it's weekly.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. It's not going anywhere.
No one's talking about, and I hear an awful lot today from the left and liberal media saying that it's not their fault. There's no such thing as Islamic terrorists. It's the right wing extreme Christians. They're the ones. Yeah,
we're the ones. I'm
sorry. If there was right wing Christian extremist groups out there shooting people, we would know about it. You know?
I mean, I don't consider myself an extremist, a right wing extremist, even though the government apparently does.
And liberals.
Yeah, and liberals, but. I don't know. Anyway, it's ridiculous when you have actual acts of real Nazism going on, and then Antifa goes to Portland and decides to protest a Trump rally because he's apparently a Nazi that's killing people and taking away rights and all this stuff.
Oh my God!
It's like, are you kidding me? Do you have any idea what the hell is actually going on? I mean, Antifa in Portland, same crap. It's not going away.
It's still going on, guys.
Yeah.
There was another clash today between your base stick man and the Republicans that voted Trump in, and conservatives and libertarians that have been getting right down there up on the front lines. It's going to continue all through the year. There was another one today in Portland. There was a Trump rally, and of course Antifa. Our favorite little commie bastards. I hope you rot in hell. They were there again, and there was more clashes. We'll probably have clips for you guys later. I think our producer man's looking that up right now. They're not going to stop, ladies and gentlemen. The left is batshit crazy out of control right now. And Antifa, I don't know.
I do see more people kind of going away from it, but the thing that's scary about it is, although more people are kind of like going away from it and is fading out a little bit, it's not stopping at all. It's actually getting worse as less people seem to be into it, which is weird to me. I don't understand.
And what we do know now is that George Soros, MoveOn.org, Hillary Clinton's new political action committee, Barack Obama's new political action committee, these losers aren't going away. They're funding them. George Soros is straight up funding them.
In wait.
Antifa and these globalist leftist organizations are funding a Summer of Rage, which is now starting. They were planning in June. Their ultimate goal is impeaching Trump. There's really nothing. There's no evidence. There's no evidence, but they're going to keep funding it.
Trump rally here in Denver,
and we're going. Major League Libertarians. There is a impeach Trump rally happening here in Denver. I think it's in like 2 weeks. Honestly,
something
it's coming
like
up pretty
quick.
It's coming up pretty quick. Yeah. We will be there.
Yep. That's going to be fun.
These people are being funded by George Soros,
right?
The Nazi collaborator again. Why is his hands are always in everything?
I know.
Oh, that guy.
And it's like a whole strange connection because radical Islamism, radical Islamists are highly tied to Nazis. A lot of former Nazis, I've said it once, I'll say it again because it's a fact, went to hide in the Middle East, one of which being Otto Skorzeny. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He started training these radical Islamists in the ways of pretty much sabotage and espionage and all these tactics where you don't have a large army but you want to still create havoc. And that's exactly what they're doing right now.
There's another one.
Where do you think they learned that? Otto Skorzeny shows up, all of a sudden they're expert at it. So if you want to fight the real Nazis, those are the real modern-day Nazis. They're the ones that are actually carrying out the attacks. They're not just talking about it, they're doing it. Huge difference.
Yep.
And Antifa is worried about Trump.
How much is it going to take, guys? I don't know. I mean, we're just going to see. I guess like Sadiq Khan, the Muslim mayor of London, said, we're just going to have to get used to being blown up in the streets now because we don't believe in Allah.
Get used to it, infidel. Your child's not safe. Just deal with that.
It's sad. It's disgusting. And the left is always telling us that we need to stop talking about it and that we're letting the terrorists win. We just need to go about our daily lives. No. At some point when you're being attacked, you stand up. What do you do when a bully is bullying you? Do you just sit there and cry it and take it? No. You stand up and tell them no.
Yeah. It's like this is all very basic stuff.
And unfortunately, because our governments in Western society aren't taking care of it, now it's up to the citizens, basically. And we saw a little bit of that last night, I think, because the cops ran away from the attackers until the cops showed up. The cops with guns showed up later.
Right, yeah.
So these cops that were there on the scene are running away with the citizens.
Yeah.
So what is it? So the citizens take it to their own hands and start throwing chairs at them? Oh, the poor UK.
And Antifa's rioting against Trump because he pulled out of the Paris climate deal, and that apparently is also super racist somehow.
Yeah.
Because it disproportionately affects everybody who isn't white, which makes a whole hell of a lot of sense. I don't even.
Well, Maxine Waters and Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton have been keep saying that the ISIS was created because anti-Maxine, love you, not really. These people keep saying that climate change is the reason that ISIS was created and why there's terrorism. Climate change is the reason why they're blowing people. They're burning people alive in cages, drowning people in cages.
You've got to be shitting me.
It's because of climate change, Logan.
Dude. How?
Racist bigot.
There's no logic presented to it ever. Anytime somebody asks them the question on how is this related. I mean, Tucker Carlson tries to do it a lot, and I mean, if you can get over his little schoolboy laugh, which I think is hilarious, then
he does have a goofy one.
He really does.
Yeah.
But if you can get over that, he actually does. He backs them into a corner, and they will never give like a logical, straight answer to anything. I mean, it's ridiculous, especially Maxine Waters. It's just, I just want to live in a world where this is like this. It's like, okay,
she's
how?
so dense.
Well, because we can do this and this. Okay, how? And then she never says how. She'll say she did, but
she's the most. Oh, she's so bad.
She's the one that visited the family of the people that went to jail for beating the crap out of and killing the truck driver in the, what was it, 1992, 96, something like that, race riots. I forget what it was. But anyway, there's riots going on in, I believe, L.A. This truck driver got pulled out of his car and beaten to death because he was the wrong color. And then she went.
I haven't heard this yet.
You haven't heard that? No, and then, like, at the time, she was still kind of a political figure, and then she went to the family of the people that did that after the guy got arrested to offer her condolences for him getting arrested. And that's Auntie Maxine for you.
Sounds like a Democrat. Sorry.
They get away with murder.
Oh, well, she's the same chick that was saying that, like in the morning she did an interview, it was on MSNBC, saying that we're going to impeach Trump.
Yeah.
And she goes on CNN later saying, I never said I was going to impeach Trump.
Right, exactly.
All day long.
She's calling for it. She's like literally saying it's the only way forward is to impeach Trump. And then it's like, I don't think they thought
what
that
has he
through
done?
Because then you get Pence. And he still hasn't, they haven't said one crime or one thing that he's done that's an impeachable offense.
But we got liberals preparing to have like a big 1,000 people rally downtown Denver to impeach. What has he done?
What? I don't know.
There's no Russian collusion.
Pulled out of the climate agreement and impeach his ass.
That was a campaign promise, ladies and gentlemen, was to get out of the Paris climate agreement.
Right.
The Accord.
Right. It's not even
a
binding treaty or anything. And it screws us over pretty greatly. So I'm happy about it.
And just to educate you guys on that, a treaty or whatever, like what that thing was essentially doing was redistributing wealth from American taxpayers to other countries. So other countries across the world, like China and Russia and these other countries, can keep using their dirty coal, and they can keep actually adding more pollutants to the air, while we have to go lower and give them our money.
Yeah,
it's global government, and now they actually have to admit it. It was never protecting the environment.
It was never protecting the environment, and it didn't do anything to stem China's involvement in polluting.
Yeah, they were allowed to get more.
Yeah, they were allowed to have more industry, which is ridiculous.
And India too. India could 700% increase.
They don't have to do anything until like 2025 to reduce their carbon footprint.
But we just got to keep laying off coal workers here in America. We can't frack
anything.
for oil. We can't do anything here. No, we got to stop it.
What was it? It was like Russia had to adhere by their like 1996 standards of output of pollution and all that, but they are already doing that. Like we're already doing that too. If that was like our deal, we would already be done. We'd be like, okay, because we're pretty much already at our 1996 levels of carbon output. We've been, reducing it for a while now. Because it's obviously not good. We need to reduce the carbon footprint, but I don't think we need to kneecap on our entire society to do so. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, with me, man, climate change obviously is real. It's been changing for millions and millions of years. This planet has gone through natural cycles. It gets hot, it gets cold. We have ice ages. Like I've said many times before, you know what? Should we have gone back in time and yelled at the cavemen for not putting a carbon tax on mammoth farts for creating the last ice age? No.
Burning too much wood and stuff to survive.
The climate always changes, ladies and gentlemen, but what the liberals are trying to sell us is saying that we can control climate. It's all humans' fault. Maybe we've touched a little bit. Maybe humans have contributed to climate change, but to the extent that we need a global federal government set up to tax us, carbon taxes, really? Yeah. They control the air we breathe and the sun that shines on us. You know what that means, my friends out there that like solar panels? If they would have had that, they'd be taxing you even worse on your solar panels. Oh, yeah. So you think you're going to be self-sustainable and not having to pay an energy bill? No, the government owns the sun now.
They're going to find a way. I mean, they'll find a way to own oxygen. And I mean,
they are. Yeah, basically that's what was in that agreement.
Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, even if you don't like us pulling out of it, guess what, Lefty, you're fine because Bloomberg already paid for everything we were going to do anyway. Yeah,
the left, all of a sudden, so this is the greatest thing ever. Trump pulls out of the Paris Climate Agreement deal, and all of a sudden lefties have remembered that little thing called minimal government,
free
and
market,
voluntarism, and free market, and you giving money to what you believe in. Now they believe in states' rights again. Now they believe in voluntarily
Which is
giving your money to something. I know,
hilarious
right?
to me.
It
I
took-
mean,
yeah.
they're swinging so far to the opposite end because, like, everything that's been happening to conservative and libertarian like-minded people during the past 8 years is happening to them, and they're having, like, a way bigger reaction to it.
Isn't that crazy?
And I think it's hilarious. Like, I mean, the reaction to it is insane because it's like they forgot that if you give somebody all that power, they can use it against you. And that's
Right.
being used against
We
them.
don't need the federal government, ladies and gentlemen. I
No.
support green renewable energy, but let's do it voluntarily.
Yeah,
let's promote
let-
the free market here.
Exactly.
Let's innovate.
Yeah.
The government never innovates anything.
No.
Everything the government touches
No.
turns to stale bullshit, and there's no innovation, there's no growth.
No. That's why
market.
defense contracts go to private industry because
Yep.
they innovate and the government knows that they suck at innovating. They don't innovate anything. I mean, they haven't, like, ever. I mean, maybe, okay,
No.
you could probably argue Eisenhower and the interstate system, but I mean, that's not really, I mean, it was an innovation for sure because before that it was really hard to get across country and everything. But, I mean, eventually the free market would have done the exact same thing. He just did it with taxpayer dollars, and the reason he did it was because he thought that if there was another world war and it was on American soil, that we needed a way for our tanks to be able to get across the entire country really quickly. So it was more of a defense thing than, like, any kind of, like, social evolution or innovation. I mean, it definitely had that effect way more than the tanks being moved, but, you know, it's still, like, that was the only thing I can really point to. But I still I didn't really agree with it, even though we use it all the time. I still think the free market would have done better, and we got to give it a chance to do better on the clean energy thing.
Well, like
too.
what you're saying there with the roads and stuff, like with the government assuming responsibility for if government didn't exist, where'd the roads be? Do you know how much money they tax us already on gasoline for the roads, and they're supposed to be fixing the potholes in the roads and the infrastructure? They don't actually fix it. Have you guys anywhere actually driven out in America and seen what's going on there?
Go to New Mexico.
They continue to tax. They're actually going to raise the taxes here in Denver, Colorado. Logan, I don't know if you heard about this. Hickenlooper is going to pass it. Yes, his real name is John Hickenlooper. He's one of Obama's buddies. I call him Chicken Pooper. We're not very fond of him here in Colorado. Unless you're uber liberal, you love him.
Yeah, then
but
he's your
they're using
favorite.
scare tactics here in Denver to pass this new budget to take care of the roads. They're going to raise gas taxes way up, more road taxes way up, because they need to fix the congestion problem and fix the potholes and the failing infrastructure. Yeah, every single time they do an increase, they never fix it. It just gets worse and worse, and you get more big government statists out there. We need more money. We need more funding. We need more. Why aren't you doing it with your money?
Controlled? I mean, if you want it to be government controlled, make it a state government control issue. Why is, like, the federal government controlling every road in America? Because they suck at it. Like, some
they own
states
everything.
have to pay more money for road maintenance, and then they don't even get that road maintenance in their state. Oklahoma's one of them. New Mexico is one of them. They get taxed for road maintenance. They have some of the worst highways in the entire country.
Yeah.
And I mean, if we had, like, if they were, the citizens of that state had the power to just say, okay, I want to give my money to the roads now, like, through my taxpayer dollars through the state of New Mexico, it would get done way faster than through the federal government that has so much on its plate, at least, like, at the very least, so much on its plate you can't even think about it.
Yeah. And
how
you know,
could
there's
it?
no such thing as corruption in government, is there?
Oh, no, of course not. Why would that be a thing?
No.
No, I mean, that's never happened before in the entire history of humanity.
No. In fact, governments and kings and queens have been the greatest thing to ever happen to humanity. ever.
Corruption in government is as constant
go back
as
to sleep.
taxes.
We
It's the
love
same
you.
thing. Like, if you have taxes, you have corruption in government. Period. Deal with it. It's always going to happen. That's why ours was designed to be limited, because we realized that that's always going to happen, and we didn't want the corrupt people to have that much power. We know that
That's
there
the
has
whole
to
point.
be some form of government, but very limited, very small form of government that does not entrench on your rights.
Yep.
That's
And
how it was set
unfortunately,
up.
that's what's happening now.
Constitutional republic. That's why they call them states. They're technically their own sovereign states.
So not to digress from too further, but
Yeah.
be happy, liberals. Relax. You
Yeah,
can actually
Bloomberg.
donate to things that you
Gotcha.
care about. Stop
Yeah.
asking the federal government to stick a gun to my head and pay for your bullshit. Enough's enough.
Yeah. Bloomberg has got your back. There
Al
you go.
Gore is retarded. I'm sorry. He said that New York would be under 6 feet of water in 2014.
Wrong.
Polar bears would be extinct by 2012.
Not true.
Sorry. There's actually no warming. We're actually on a cooling phase, and scientists are saying that we might be heading to a small ice age here soon.
Yeah, teeny ice
NASA
age.
says that we're at the most Antarctic growth of ice than we've ever seen.
Right.
So now we have to call it can't be global warming anymore. Now it's called climate change.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like they're predicting that's going to be like a small spike and then another huge spike because of La Nina and all that crap that happens all the damn time anyway. I mean, it's
In
like,
weather?
Yeah,
Wow.
weather. But, like, or climate, whatever you want to. Well, I mean, they're two
They're not
different
the
things.
same, yeah.
Yeah, but either way. But, like, this is not out of the norm. They're not even like higher peaks than we've seen before the Industrial Revolution or before society even formed, or like around when society formed in 2200 BC. And
we've been in much hotter periods.
The Dark Ages were way colder than it is today. We survived through that. It had nothing to do with us, except for maybe you could say farming and cultivation. It's like there was more cow farts in the air, so methane had something to do with one of the coldest time periods in human history, including this time period. But I digress. Whatever.
Basically, climate change is real. The climate has been changing for billions of years. It's going to keep changing. We're not science deniers. We understand that. We understand there's solar cycles, and there's all sorts of... The Earth is tilting different axes.
Right.
There is climate change, but at what extent are humans doing it? And I'm sorry, but Trump pulling out of the Paris Agreement is a good thing because it had nothing to do with protecting the environment.
It wasn't.
It had everything to do with redistributing wealth out of the United States of America, our tax dollars, to other people because they need it more and we love them.
I mean, look
it's
at the
global
agreement.
government. It was setting up a global government to control you.
It had everything to do with money and absolutely nothing to do with lowering anybody's carbon emission besides ours.
Government's not going to fix the problem.
Our industry. That's it. But
yeah.
Anyway, I think we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have our general discussion on libertarianism, the current infighting within the Libertarian Party, how we think we can solve that, and, of course, just the basic libertarian ideals, because a lot of people we've ran into lately don't seem to understand what those are. So anyway, stay tuned. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good night.
And I hate global government. Quit asking for global government. The Paris Treaty is null and void. Thank you, God.
Thank you.
What happens to that trust that you have in your government to take care of you? Last night, what we saw in these attacks is the London police, the Metro police, actually running away from the Muslim attackers because they're not armed and they weren't ready for that. And the citizens actually had to take it upon themselves to throw chairs at the terrorists before the cops can show up, the ones with the guns.
I mean, come on, that is ridiculously sad. And of course, in the midst of all this stuff happening, you still have people that are saying, no, it's not all Muslims. Not all Muslims are terrorists. Of course not. We're not saying that either.
Yeah.
But what we're saying is
there's good Muslims.
There's a lot of good Muslims.
Yes.
But this
the majority
sect of this Islamic political ideology mixed with religion is very dangerous. And yes, not a whole lot of percentage-wise of Muslims are radicals, but I don't really care what the percentage is when they are successfully carrying out attacks almost on a daily basis in Western civilization.
And we're getting blamed for it. Conservatives and libertarians, it's our fault because we're Islamophobic. No, our problem, we don't have a problem with Muslims. By the way, Islam is not a race. It's a political ideology. It's a religion. There's white Muslims. There's Asian Muslims. I can criticize you when you're blowing my family up to bits in the streets. Sorry. Furthermore... Yeah, Logan, keep going. Sorry.
It's all right. No, I mean, I understand it. I mean, it's...
Hey, what's up, Liberty lovers? It's Liberty Lou. Riding shotgun here is the sexy libertarian, Logan Schwartz.
Thank you. Yeah, what's up, guys? We are the Major League Libertarians, your home for lovely, livacious lectures on liberty and, of course, the occasional woken rage, which I think is going to be on full display tonight. We're going to start you off with the UK terrorist attacks lately this week, the one on May 22nd at the Ariana Grande concert that left, I believe, 22 dead and 59 injured.
That is correct.
And then the London Bridge attack last night, and also the two that happened simultaneously in downtown London. And, of course, Theresa May, the Prime Minister of London, her response to that, which I think was very interesting. Then we're going to go right into CNN staging some fake Muslim terrorist attack protests.
Yeah, we caught CNN being fake again, guys.
Another
CNN News
journalist.
the Commie News Network got caught again today.
Right.
We have the documents.
We have the documents. Antifa Portland at a Trump rally, there was a huge protest there, so we're going to go into that. Years old. This is absolutely ridiculous. And they thought that, and this was at a concert for somebody who's one of their main advocates for refugees.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Ariana Grande is a very big open border supporter. She lives behind a gated mansion, and she has armed security, but you're not allowed to have armed security, and we shouldn't have a sovereign nation.
You're not allowed to arm yourself, let alone have armed security. You can't secure yourself.
I mean, I talked about this in my solo video last week. You know, Katy Perry said that we just, need to coexist. Yeah, you live behind a gated mansion with armed security, too.
I think that's a very interesting thing that it kind of points to this whole SJW nonsense that's been going on lately is we just need to coexist. It's that's a lot easier to do if everybody believes it.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, not everybody believes it because all you're doing is you're just sitting at home or going to a concert or just being on the London Bridge and then all of a sudden you get stabbed. That's not somebody that wants to coexist with you.
Right. And one of our partners who you haven't seen on camera very much lately, Ian Miller, posted in a group today on Facebook saying that you have trust in society in your normal day. You wake up, you trust that you're going to get in a car and you're not going to get hit by another car. You have trust that the other people you're around aren't going to be blowing you up and stuff. But what happens now when this is almost a daily occurrence happening in Europe and starting to happen here in the United States?
That happened today. Trump's withdrawal from the Paris Climate Accord that has everybody all up in arms. And, of course, then we're going to go into a general discussion about the recent infighting within the Libertarian Party and just the general ideals and politics that are kind of emerging that are a little bit frightening.
So yeah, we want to talk about some libertarian stuff tonight, guys,
Exactly.
because there's a lot of infighting going on right now. Obviously,
Yeah.
I mean, we are the Libertarian Party. It seems
what
to be
we do.
expected, but we want to
Yeah.
talk about it and say,
give our take on it
Yeah.
and what we believe and what we can do to move forward and how we can hopefully stop some of it. But anyway, let's go right into it with the UK terrorist attacks in Manchester on the 22nd. Ariana Grande concert already not really being talked about anymore.
yeah,
Like, it just happened.
like the Sadiq Khan, the Muslim mayor of London, the first Muslim mayor of London, by the way. He said, was it 5-6 months ago? He said that it's partial now to living in a big city like this. You're just going to have to get used to terrorism. How does that feel? How does that feel, our brothers and sisters across the pond? How do you feel right now?
Yeah, get used to your children getting blown up at a concert.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to get used to it.
These radical Islamic terrorists targeted young girls, young teeny bopper girls,
Yeah.
going to see a pop concert.
Some of them like
Ariana
11,
Grande.
12 is ridiculous. And I mean, we have a clip now of a British citizen complaining to another British citizen during this attack about being Islamophobic. Anyway, so about that.
Yeah, this is hilarious, guys. Check this out. So this happened last night inside a bar. British citizens, UK, had to run into bars to hide from the attacks.
Yeah.
There's actually a guy saying, "Shut up, it's not Muslims, you Islamophobe."
Right.
Check
You're going to
this
see
out.
the police come in, tell everybody to get on the ground.
Here it comes.
Yeah. See, telling everyone to get down because that's really all they can do.
Here it comes. See, yeah,
It's
so
not Muslims.
yeah, so the guy, in case you didn't hear it, we could probably play it again here in a second. What
Yeah.
one of the guys in the video said, if you couldn't hear it, is saying, "Those fucking Muslim cunts."
Yeah,
The other guy says, "Shut the fuck up, mate. It's not Muslims."
right. Which,
Well,
I mean,
unfortunately, if you